Let's jump right into this explainer. If you've ever tried setting up an AI agent, you already know it can feel completely chaotic. It's kind of like packing for a trip when you have literally no idea where you're going. Well, today, we're going to fix that by looking at how Docker Sandbox kits bring secure, structured order to your workflows. Because right now, setting up and reproducing these agents is honestly a deeply messy process. The really big question is, how do you safely give an agent its credentials, custom tools, and permissions without risking your sensitive data? Think about it. If you hand over a live API key and that sandbox gets compromised, well, your keys just went right out the window with it. It's a massive security bottleneck that literally stops developers in their tracks. So to solve this, we use a Docker Sandbox kit. Now, technically speaking, this is a declarative spec.yaml artifact. But honestly, the best way to think about it is like a tightly packed backpack. You strap this backpack onto your AI agent right before sending it into the sandbox. It holds everything the agent needs. Its specialized tools, its specific rulebook, and a highly secure wallet, one that it doesn't actually have the direct combination to. It completely standardizes the agent's environment. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll meet these Docker Sandbox kits. Then we'll compare mixins versus agent kits. Third, we'll look at supercharging your agent. Fourth, we'll dive into securing agent credentials. And finally, building and sharing those kits. Let's get right into mixins versus agent kits and look at the two distinct paths for your environment. There's a really fascinating contrast in philosophy here. You basically have two choices. First, you could use a mixin kit. This is what you use to strap brand new tools onto an already existing agent. Imagine taking a standard Claude agent and just mixing in a Python linter, or maybe your team's shared dot files. On the flip side, you have agent kits. You use these when you want to build a completely custom agent from the ground up. You're defining the base image, the entry point, the whole shebang. It's essentially how you'd fork an existing agent and rebuild it with your own specific defaults baked right in. Moving on to supercharging your agent, let's actually open up that backpack and check out the superpowers you can equip. These kits give your agent a massive, standardized tool belt. You get the power to seamlessly boot up background services using startup commands, drop in dynamic configuration files, set environment variables, and establish really firm network boundaries. You can even inject agent memory. That means the agent knows the rules of the road before it even takes its very first step. And the way kits handle these specific instructions is just brilliant. By injecting custom markdown directly into a memory file, like an agents.md file, you're giving the agent its specific rulebook the exact second the sandbox spins up. The system actually automatically creates a kits section inside this file. So for you, this means the agent is instantly aware of your project conventions, or exactly how to use a specific tool the kit just installed. No more having to manually prompt it every single time. Now, when you're building these kits, it's absolutely crucial to understand the difference between your commands. Your commands.install is going to run exactly once during the sandbox creation. This is for the heavy lifting, things like running apt-get or downloading binaries. But commands.startup, that replays every single time the sandbox boots. Because of that, your startup scripts absolutely must be idempotent, meaning if that script runs a second, third, or fourth time, it shouldn't crash the restart path. It has to safely converge to the exact same end state every single time. Next up is securing agent credentials, which is honestly a true masterclass in zero trust security. Look, we've all seen the horror stories, right? The stolen API key problem is just a massive hurdle in AI development. Handing a real, live API key directly to an AI agent sitting inside a virtual machine is incredibly dangerous. If that sandbox gets compromised by some malicious code the agent happened to download, your keys are stolen and you are looking at a massive security breach. So the golden rule here is simple. Never ever expose real credentials to the sandbox VM. Docker solves this with a proxy-managed credential setup, and it works perfectly. Here's the flow. First, the agent inside the VM uses a fake dummy token. It genuinely thinks it has the real key, but it doesn't. Second, when the agent makes an outbound request, that request hits a proxy that's sitting safely on your host machine. Third, this host proxy spots the dummy token, overwrites it, and injects your actual, real API key right into the header. Finally, the request proceeds safely to the external service. The real secret never, ever enters the virtual machine. It is such an elegant solution to a really scary security flaw. Building on that security, you also get really strict network domain control. You can explicitly list allowed domains, basically the places your agent is actually permitted to connect to, like NPM or GitHub. But on the flip side, you can list denied domains to explicitly block connections. so you could prevent the agent from pinging out to telemetry trackers, for example. And here's a super important rule to remember. If there's ever a conflict, deny rules always take precedence. If a domain is on that deny list, the agent is entirely blocked from reaching it, period. Finally, let's look at building and sharing kits and see how you can package your setup to share with the world. Your journey here starts with choosing a base image. If you're building an agent kit from scratch, you've got some great options. You can go with the generic shell base image if you just want a lightweight, non-privileged environment. But, and this is really cool, if your coding agent needs to spin up its own containers to test code, you can use shell Docker, which actually adds the Docker engine right inside the sandbox. Or, of course, you could just extend a specific agent variant if you're only tweaking an existing setup. Once your kit's spec.yaml is built and tested, sharing it is incredibly smooth using the SBX command line interface. You can rapidly fire off SBX kit pack to compress your entire kit into a zip archive for easy local sharing, or use SBX kit push to publish it directly to an OCI registry like Docker Hub. And naturally, SBX kit pull lets anyone on your team or anyone across the globe really download your kit and instantly reproduce your perfectly configured, highly secure AI agent environment in a matter of seconds. Well, we've officially unpacked the backpack. You've seen how to structure the environment, how to inject commands and memory, and most importantly, how to lock down your API keys with a zero-trust proxy. The chaos of configuring AI agents is officially a thing of the past. Now that you know exactly how to securely pack this toolkit, the only question left is, what will your agent build next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy building.